Hi there, and welcome to She Spice. Spanky Roughage appears to have at last let the cat out of the bag on the obscure underside of Wild and Out. And how about we simply say up and coming, entertainers are presently not anxious to join the show. So what precisely did he say in a meeting with Parody Publicity News? Spanky Hayes uncovered that he entered the Wild and Out field during its initial seasons when the show was getting some momentum and making stars out of its skilled cast monetarily. It was the brilliant period for entertainers like Spanky who authentically partook in the meeting I was making grown up. Man cash week by week, genuine the show's prosperity converted into worthwhile checks for its stars, and Spanky wasn't bashful about displaying his monetary ability as per him. Even in the main season, he was making serious money with figures like $27,000 an episode being tossed around anyway. The monetary greatness days were fleeting, as Spanky uncovered that the monetary scene experienced a plunge when the show changed networks from MTV to VH1 each time it changed organization. It sort of went down like the financial plan-wise went down, so you realize that made it, that has somewhat caused me to stop this. Disclosure laid the basis for a story of consistent losses, making a gradually expanding influence that assumed a urgent part in Spanky's possible choice to say goodbye to Wild and Out. In the meeting, Spanky drilled down into the monetary thrill ride he encountered during his experience on Wild and Out. He featured how during the MTV days, the show filled in as a vehicle for the organization, moving it forward. The monetary impetuses for the jokesters were significant, and it seemed like the party cool go on forever anyway. As the show progressed to VH1, Spanky noticed a recognizable decrease in the spending plan, a shift that would have significant results on his way of life. Spanky proceeded to uncover that Viacom, the parent organization, decisively used the show on various organizations, including VH1 and BET, prompting far and wide openness, yet additionally adding to the monetary woo. The charm of the early seasons with the monetary bonuses started to blur as the spending plans fixed, and the once amazing chance lost a portion of its radiance past the monetary disturbance. Spanky Hayes shed light on the behind-the-scenes confusion that assumed a vital part in his choice to leave Wild and Out. He pointed fingers at the continuous turnover in the creation staff, saying there's generally an alternate new creation and a new paid creation is another discreation. There's consistently various individuals changing similar work. The precariousness in the creation group presented a demeanor of vulnerability, influencing the fellowship and cooperative soul that were vital to the show's prosperity. The changing elements in the background started to wear on Spanky, upsetting the tomfoolery and satisfaction he at first found in the Wild and Out. As he uncovered in the meeting, it simply wasn't fun any longer. The steady commotion in the creation group added to a poisonous climate that disintegrated the actual embodiment of what made the show progress in any case. Spanky Hayes opened up about his deepest feelings about the cost his Wild and Out experience took on his own life. Contrary to prevalent thinking, his choice to leave wasn't established in that frame of mind with Scratch Gun or individual cast individuals. Rather, it was a profoundly private decision driven by a deficiency of delight and the staggering weight of monetary tensions in the meeting. Spanky conceded, I made these bills and these issues, and presently, we just get this much of the way of life he had made for himself in light of the pinnacle profit during the show's initial seasons became unreasonable as the monetary scene changed. The difference between the lab assumptions he set for him and the cruel truth of decreased income, which constrained him to stand up to a brutal truth. The sparkling exterior of media outlets had a clouded side that impacted even the people who appeared to be enjoying some real success and progress in a similar meeting. Hayes likewise talked about the hamburger between two individuals, Wild and Out, Lil Duval and Shoddy. So let me clear this up. I didn't whip a little Duvo. Okay, I helped Shorty beat up a little Duvo to comprehend the weightiness of the circumstances. It's urgent to dig into the foundations of the fight, as per Spanky. The contention between Lil Duval and Shoddy originated from monetary disparities connected with satire gigs. Shoddy purportedly performed at a show coordinated by Lil Duval just to be stiffed when it came to remuneration. An incredibly comparable occurrence happened the next week, raising strains between the two jokesters. The core of the quarrel lay in neglected obligations and the absence of monetary straightforwardness in the satire business. According to Spanky's record, Shoddy contacted him, bothered by the non-installation of his comedic administrations. A sensation of fellowship and devotion constrained Spanky to include himself in what might turn into a defining moment in the Lil Duval adventure. Spanky clearly described the turbulent situation that happened during a parody show in Louisville, Kentucky. In spite of being the main event, Spanky hesitantly permitted Lil Double to make that big appearance, ignorant that behind the stage Shotty was gnawing for a showdown. The clueless crowd had no suspicion that underneath the chuckling, a fermenting fight was going to erupt. As Lil Duval left the stage, tumultuous, unfurled shoes were stepped on, punches were tossed, and the behind-the-stage region changed into a war zone. Shotty, energized by a longing for retaliation, supposedly conveyed a blast of disasters to dole out the retribution with Lil Duval. Spanky, trapped amidst the turmoil, has mediated exclusively to keep what is happening from raising further. Spanky proceeded to uncover that during the skirmish he got Lil Duval, not as an assailant but rather as somebody attempting to keep everything under control in the turmoil in the midst of the fight. Spanky ended up torn between dependability to Shotty and a craving to forestall pointless savagery. He describes how the circumstances rose rapidly, with feelings running high and individual limits being crossed. The meeting portrayed the behind-the-scenes mayhem with a blend of disarray, adrenaline, and a feeling of unwaveringness working out progressively in the midst of the disorder. Spanky claims he needed to relinquish Lil Duval, understanding that further contribution could bring about lawful repercussions for all gatherings, including the repercussions of the supposed beatdown unfurled as Shotty alongside a gathering of companions standing up to Lil Duval upon his visitation of Atlanta. In Spanky's record, Lil Duval wound up on the less than desirable finish of a beating in spite of the actual squabble. Spanky states that he harbors no evil sentiments towards Lil Duval and underscores that the occurrence happened a long time ago. In any case, this isn't the main thing that Hayes has uncovered concerning the show in a shocking disclosure that sent shockwaves through media outlets. Humorist Spanky Hayes has as of late pulled back the drapery on the supposed robbery of the stunningly effective parody show. The adventure starts in the mid-2000s, with the other level being a parody bunch involving Spanky Hayes, Joe Blount, Howley Ringer, Thomas Ward, and intermittent appearances by Tony Roberts. Their extraordinary invention of representations, stand-up satire, and ad-libbed rap firmly looked like the future configuration of Wild and Out. The parody world was their shellfish, and unbeknownst to them, their weighty exhibitions had grabbed the eye of the industry. Spanky thought back about their critical second at the HBO Aspen Satire Celebration in 2000, an occasion that would later end up being an unexpected portending of their possible destiny, much to their dismay that their creative methodology was perceived as well as supposedly looked at by a rising star in the making. Scratch Cannon, then exploring the way to fame, entered the image with bargains falling through for both the other level and himself, supposedly with Will Smith's Overbrook Creations as their common destiny unwound. Scratch allegedly made Spanky a proposition, a deal that would later be uncovered as the introduction of Wild and Out. M-Town Live at first introduced as a chance for the other level to remain connected, with unfurled as a simple venturing stone prompting claims of disloyalty. The experience of it I didn't actually value since I felt like I never had an opportunity to do it without anyone's help. It was generally someone I needed to work on something for. Spanky uncovered revealing insight into the elements that set up for the supposed robbery as Scratch Cannon started making Wild and Out. Spanky claims he was called to Chicago, where he was given a plan that amazingly reflected different levels of design in an immediate statement. Spanky relates his discussion with Scratch, however. What might be said about them? Spanky asked if Scratch's supposed cavalier reaction was chilly. Disclosure: I don't know. No doubt you landed the position the F out from this disclosure left the other level individuals wrestling with broke dreams and a feeling of double-crossing the progress of Wild and Out pushed Scratch Cannon into fame, yet at what cost to the humorists who supposedly prepared. As time elapsed, Spanky claims he became disappointed with his job on Wild and Out and proposed changes to the show's organization in an immediate statement. Spanky relates, telling Scratch Cannon that in the event that I won't be on this show, you can't do the show that I brought to you. You gotta change the show some sort of way anyway. As new cast members like prideful contract killer Hala and Justina Valentine joined the show, it moved. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.